Wagwan World, it's MELO-X, and you're here on concreteloop.com.
Hello, World Wide Web. This is Andrea from Concrete Loop, and we're here with MELO-X.
What up?
Hello, friend.
What's good, homie?
How are you?
Chilling?
Good, and just like as a side note, this is really funny. I've known you for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And I've interviewed you a bunch of times, but this is the first time on camera, so it's a little different.
Special.
Big things.
Yeah,
big
things are
things.
going on.
So, a question I've never asked you before. Tell me a bit about your childhood, about when you started really getting into music and when you knew that this is something you're passionate about.
Well, the atmosphere on Mars was very Mars. Yeah, I mean, I started working on music. I would say when my mother bought me a toy recorder, I started like recording my voice, and I got very intrigued about having my voice in this box, and I would listen back to it, like, how did it get in there? Like, what's the mechanics? How does it work? So I learned like how that works, and then I had a little toy piano, so I would record myself playing piano and freestyling. And that was like the little seeds planted from there. How old were you? Probably like six or seven. Like some of the recordings I have, I sound like a baby.
In your music, you're a producer, you're a rapper, you're a DJ, you do really cool remixes. How do you find a balance between all these things? Or do they work seamlessly for you?
Yeah, I mean, they work pretty seamless. It's kind of like I go off of vibe, emotion, feel. Depending where I'm at, I just work on something. I always get inspired. Like the last 2 months, I've been working solely on this album. So that's all my time went to: producing it, recording it, mixing it, mastering it. I do all of it, the art direction, everything. But before that, I was, doing remixes and stuff like that. So I was doing like a Yuna remix and a Rihanna remix and this and that. So it just depends on like where the vibe takes me.
And speaking of that, the remixes, like I like to say reimagined, because I mean a lot of people do remixes and it's just like, okay, let me change the background music or change the vocals a little bit, but you do a little more. Like you did a remix of what's that, Frank Ocean's White, and then of Drake's Girls Love Beyonce, but you did Girls Love Rihanna, and also, what was the other one that I had on this list? Well, of course, Maxwell's Bad Habits.
That was a classic.
How these folks that you have remixed, have they heard these tracks, and if they have, what has the response been?
I mean, my Rihanna remix got a lot of love. I don't know if she heard it, but a lot of labels overseas hit me up religiously to like license it for different soundtracks and different things. Yeah. As far as like the one that got most noticed was Maxwell, the Maxwell remix EP that I did. He actually hit me up about it, saying he wanted to hear all of it. Because when I put out like a single first, and he hit me up about the single, and I was like, I'm gonna do the whole album. And he was like, send it to me.
And with that being said, what artists would you want to do like remixes for in the future, or would like to work with?
It all depends. I'm always vibing to something new, something different. I mean, right now I'd probably like to work with Miguel. I think he's real dope. Yeah. I'm actually working on something with working on a remix for Janelle Monáe. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. I mean, hopefully I can meet her and work with her too. But it's pretty open, man. I mean, if I'm vibing to music, it's whatever. I could take anybody and bring them to my world and incorporate parts of their world. So
dig that. And on the DJ side, you know how to rock a party.
Yeah, man.
Been to a few things that you've done in Brooklyn, and a lot of people know your party rocking from your party with Jasmine Solano, Electric Punani. So tell us a little bit more about that, and how you plan to, you know, take over the world with it.
Oh yeah, we definitely taking over the world. One night I was in downtown Lower East Side. I was like drinking, having a good time. I was at this club called 205, and upstairs they were playing like electronic music. Downstairs they were playing reggae dance hall. I don't know if it was actually a dance hall party downstairs, but they were just playing reggae and electronic stuff upstairs.
Yeah.
And I was like drunk and I was going up and down, and I was like, the tempo sounded the same. And I was like, yo, this just sounds amazing. What if this was a party? Because I love both of these genres.
Yeah.
So I came to Jasmine because me and Jasmine had been DJing prior to that together. And I think the name I gave her was like Electro Pum Pum. She was like,
what?
Like, that is not good. She was like Electric Punani. You know,
Yeah.
I needed that woman presence to like, you know, zone in on the name. So yeah, that was like 5 years ago, and now this fall we're going on tour around the world.
So world travel is a big part of, I mean, your world and your career and your music. Of all the cities that you've been to thus far, which have been the most inspiring to you for your work, for your art?
I would have to say South Africa was the most inspiring.
When did you visit?
I went there last year. I believe it was October. I went with Jesse Boykins III.
Yes.
That's when we released our album called Zulu Guru. So we were touring that album. We went to London, we toured around Australia, and then we went to Africa. And that trip was amazing. Just like seeing the people, seeing the style, and just the way like they respected what we did.
Yeah.
And they were just like amazed that we were there. They was like, why are you here? We was like, yo,
how do you get here?
How can we not be here? You know? But it was good. Like the love was there, and that was like very inspirational. You know, a lot of the kids there was like in art school, and they're like, when we create and when we're working on homework, we're listening to your music and we watch your videos, and it was just like a good experience to be in Africa, you know, and have that.
That's great. So with that being said, you're prepping for the release of your album.
Yeah.
God, Pièce de Résistance.
Pièce de Résistance.
That you see right there on the shirt. That R always messes me up.
I don't know how to say the R. I just say resistance. Pièce de
it's
Résistance.
Like all the way backwards, like Résistance.
But that's why I like a title like this, kind of like with Zulu Guru. We had never been to Africa before we made that, but we were like projecting this thought, projecting it, and that title came to us, and then we end up going there.
And then it brought you there.
You know, and we met like people who were part of like the Zulu tribe and things like that. So idea behind the album title as well is to project it, you know. I'm going to Paris next week.
Tell us more about what we can expect from the album.
The album is basically like a culmination of all the EPs. That's what Pièce de Résistance means. It's kind of like the best piece of work in a body of work, or like the main dish. So out of all the EPs, they're like some of the songs are on there, remastered, and then there's like a bunch of new songs. So the album is basically about me like traveling around the globe, traveling the world, you know, being inspired by everything, dealing with love lost, dealing with, you know, like the police presence in Brooklyn, but also being international and being like in London at a sold out show, but then coming back to the hood and just being like, who got shot, what happened, this and that, you know, and dealing with those two sides. So the album kind of deals with that, deals with like the industry and fame and being an independent artist. So yeah, it's basically everything I'm dealing with in life.
Your entire life right now.
Exactly.
And the first single is A Tree Must Be a Tree. You recently premiered the video, and it's very cinematic. There's a lot going on, but not at the same time. There's a stillness, but then there's like a lot of emotion. I mean, I guess say like, how did that come about, and the director and
well, yeah, the director's name is Rodney Passay. He's from Brooklyn, but he resides in Cali for a few years now. And we connected. I think my manager actually connected us, and we just started brainstorming ideas.
Yeah.
He had an idea to do this remake of a film called Badlands by Terrence Malick, I believe his name is. And I played him this song, and I was like, this song would probably go way better with the idea. Once he heard it, he was like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And basically, the video is a remake of the trailer for Badlands. So if you like go on YouTube and look up the trailer for Badlands, you'll see
like piece them together.
Yeah, you'll see the connection. But of course, ours has like a little twist to it. But the idea is like, you know, a tree must be a tree. Is like you can't change somebody, you know, from being who they are, being what they are. You can only try to deal with it or leave. And the song is basically about my first breakup that I had. Yeah. And that idea of like, I can't change you, like, I can't make you be something else that you're not. You can't make me be something else that I'm not. Is it my fault? Was it your fault? Yeah. This and that.
The back and forth and all of that.
Yeah.
How do you like your experience as an independent artist, and what are some things that you don't like about that?
I would say being an independent artist is amazing. I mean, not that I'm against signing to any labels or anything like that, but the idea that I can tour the world, you know, I could like do remixes for amazing artists. Like one of my remixes for Yuna is actually in Grand Theft Auto 5, like biggest selling video game of all time. And then I had another song that was produced by Machine Drum that I originally did for his album. Yeah. It was used for the trailer of Paranoia, the new movie that came out. Yeah, I've had my music at NBA 2K12. I had my music here and there. I traveled. I like released stuff. So it was fun, you know. I make money off of licensing, all these things. So independence is amazing.
It's work.
But at the same time, it's a lot of work. Yeah. You know, because me, I mean, for the way I do it, you know, I produce, I write everything, I record, mix, master it, I do the email blast. Me and my manager do email blasts, website updates, and then you have to deal with like trying to get to another level. You have like all these people who support you, but you want to reach this market and this one, and they might not mess with you because they're like, you don't have hype yet. You don't have like a cosign.
Or I don't see you know, signed to whoever major label.
Exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, man, y'all better hurry up because I'm about to be huge. I mean, I already am on an international level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
world tours.
It's cool, exactly. Yeah. Like who gets to do that from Flappers, just chilling in my
big up to Brooklyn, right?
Beats.
If you had to describe your sound in 3 words or less, what would it be?
Man, it'd be...
I know, it puts you on the spot.
Booty popping.
No.
No. It would be...
definitely not that.
It would be... I would call it maybe like experimental free music, because I feel like I'm free to experiment with any genre of music. Like I'm free to... You might hear a track that's me rapping. You might hear a track that's me singing. You might hear a remix. You might get an instrumental album. Yeah. You might get some ambient stuff. You know, I might do, like I did some work for Honda. Like I just did like the sound design for a Honda commercial. Yeah. So you might get all these different things. Like I just like to experiment with all genres of music, no matter what it is.
Because you can.
Because I can. Yeah.
And also that same question. In regards to your personal style, because also you have like really eclectic personal style. 3 words or less.
3 words or less. International abstract schwaza.
Schwaza, the schwaza is back. I guess with that you should probably say what schwaza means.
Schwaza is just a word that one of our friends, Jay Woo, amazing director, he came up with while in Berlin, and Jesse Boykins was inspired to like use it, so he brought it back to us. He was just like, yo, that's an ill word. But it's basically like when there's no way to explain an amazing moment, when there's like you're at a loss for words, that's the word to use.
Schwaza. So remember that, everyone. Schwaza. Something amazing happened, it's just schwaza.
Schwaza. So my style.
Schwaza.
There you go.
And to wrap it up, we always ask all of our guests this question. Are there any inspirational quotes, an inspirational quote and or mantra that you live by each day?
Well, mine is, it's the God.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It's the God. That's like, it's basically like a hood namaste, you know, it's like the God, the God in me recognizes the God in you, so it's the God. It's basically like, you know, being the God of your destiny and like putting in the work, you know, visualizing and seeing your vision, seeing what you want to do and work towards it. You can't just sit and pray and think it's gonna happen. Like you have to put one step, God puts the next, so it's the God. Yeah,
yes, and we'd like to thank MELO-X for sitting down with us, Concrete Loop, and stay tuned for more.